What's going on? We are back at it. What's the best plan design for your infinite banking policy? That's the topic. We've already covered the Nelson-Nash model. We just went over the beast, and we talked a little bit about Rudolph the Red-Nosed he-she reindeer, but we're gonna move on to the next one, and we like to call this one the Slayer. You ever hear the band? So the reason we created the Slayer was because we wanted a policy design that slayed every other design. But this one is very particular. It's a lot like the Beast was, okay? It's 35% going to the base, and it's 65% going to the paid up editions. So you're probably thinking, well, why wouldn't I just do a 75-25? Why wouldn't I just do the Beast? Because remember I said the Beast works really well in most situations, but if somebody comes to us and they got a large dump in, let's say they want to dump in $100,000 and they only want to put $15,000 in premium deposits away, we're going to have a really difficult time getting the Beast to not mech. That thing's probably going to be really hard, or we're going to have to put in so much term insurance that it's just going to make the policy inefficient. So we played around with our magic potions, and we sent this one to the lab, and the nerds in the lab pieced it all together and played with it, and they came up with the Slayer. The Slayer works incredibly well for any of you that want a large dump in. You want to put a large dump in into the policy, but you still want your premium deposits really low because you want a very efficient design. Well, that's the Slayer. And the Slayer has single-handedly slayed most other plans when a large dump in is put in. But not only that, the Slayer is a really great lead into why you should subscribe to this channel. Right there, hit that subscribe button, and while you're at it, make sure that you hit that bell. And you don't have to hit the bell, you can smash the bell like that. So with that being said, the Slayer might be a really good fit for those of you that are looking to dump a whole bunch of money in from somebody else's bank. Let's dive into the Slayer, how it works, and let's look at some of the numbers. The next design, this is a unique design. This design was put together for us. It is called the Slayer. Why the Slayer? Well, because it slays. So in this design, what we're gonna do is we're gonna switch it up. We're only gonna put 65% to the PUA, and we're gonna put 35% to the base. Now, in just a second, I'm gonna show you where this design is absolutely used for almost everyone that needs high early cash value, because it does something that we weren't able to do with the 25-75 design, is it allows us to dump more money in. But in this example, I'm only showing an example of $10,000 in premium deposit going in, so I wouldn't typically use the Slayer design. I would typically use the Beast for someone that wants high early cash value in this, just to give you an example. So here's how this one works. We put 65% into the paid up edition, so let's just change the number, and then we put 3,500 into the base. So now what that's going to do is that's still going to require us to have some term insurance on this plan. So how much term do we need? Well, now that 10-year term rider, we only need 75,000 because we've got more in the base, which means our term rider is going to cost less at 159. So again, that's the drag. I just want you to always think of the term as the drag. We don't want term if we don't need it. But in this case, in every other one of these, we need term insurance because of the MEC 7-pay IRS rule. So over here, let's get rid of the commission on the old one and the death benefit. So the death benefit on this particular design isn't too bad, but it's a little less at $152,835. Now let me talk to you a little bit about something on the death benefit. Every one of the designs we will ever build, I don't care what it is, every year you put more money into the paid up edition, your death benefit will go up. Because as your cash value goes up, your death benefit has to go up. You can never have more cash value than you do death benefit. If it did, that policy would become a modified endowment, which we don't want. So every year we put money in, the death benefit goes up. Let me just give you an example. In this Slayer design, we start with $152,835 in death benefit. The second year we put another 10 grand in, remember, and that second year your death benefit isn't 162, it goes to 167,008. And that's gonna keep climbing all the way until I get to the 11th year. Now in the 11th year, what I'm gonna do is I'm going to drop the term rider. So 11 years in, the term goes to 0. Okay, we following on that? So when that happens, my death benefit in the 10th year was $295,000. You see how that went up? We went from 152 to 167, and 10 years later, we got $295,869. Now that's building a legacy, but it's building a legacy while putting you in control of your money. But when we drop that term rider, we go from 295 to down. Now the death benefit in the 11th year drops down to 268, okay? See what happens? The term rider gets dropped, our death benefit drops. It's all relative to one another. The commission on the 65-35 is going to be very similar to the 75-25, and the commission on this policy with the paid up additions works out to be 2139.25. If this money was put into that regular whole life, remember it would have been $5,500, which means that's $3,360.75, so $3,360.75 that we give up so that you have access to it. I just want to be clear what's going on here. Now, let's just quickly dive into the numbers because these are fun, and I'm just going to go quick. Year one, out of the 10 you put in, you had $69.57, slightly less than the $75.25, but slightly more than the $60.40. Year 5, we put 10 in, we can take $10,287 out. Year 10, we put 10 in, and we can take $13,299 out. I put 10 in, and I can take $13,299 out. That is the stuff that gets me excited. And every year, the year 15 or year 11, we drop down to $3,500, because remember, only 35% can go in, and that's the base. We can't put any more money into the paid up additions. So that's $3,500. So that $3,500 in the 15th year is $9,052. In the 20th year, I put $3,500 in, and that's $11,042. Every year, you're gonna have more money than you did the year before. Every day, you'll have more money than you did the day before. That's how this works. The only give is the first couple of years, you'll have less money than what you put in, because there's not an insurance company that's a nonprofit. Most of the insurance companies are for-profit companies. So there's a cost for that death benefit. And if that death benefit cost doesn't benefit you, if you don't care about anyone else on this planet, when you leave and graduate, you don't care that anyone else gets a death benefit or gets something that makes their life better, well then this concept and this product is not for you. It's that simple. But if you do care, well then the first couple years where you're putting money in and not able to use it all, that is what you give up, so that for the rest of your life, usually after year 5 or year 3 in the designs that you're gonna see now, every year after year 3, you're gonna make more money than what you put in every year for the rest of your life. Uninterrupted compound interest guaranteed. That's it. All right, so there you have it. That was the Slayer. Pretty cool, huh? It does indeed slay. But the cool part about this policy is it is incredibly efficient, not just in the short run, but also in the longer term. So because you maintain the base, it's all about the base. And now you got 35% in base, which is only 5% less than the original Nelson Nash model. So that leads me to another plan design that we've done a lot with, which we're going to talk about later, and that is called the Rock. You see, the Slayer and the Rock are carved from the same material. But we're gonna get there, stay tuned, and also while you're at it, click that button right there. You see, this is another video that I think you'll really enjoy. It's how to design an IBC policy updated. If you like this one, you'll love that. Check it out. See you next time.